Right now at noon, an investigation is underway in Walworth County after 2 people are dead. We'll tell you what we know. And President Trump defends his tariff strategy as the trade war with China ramps up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good noon, everyone. I'm Mark Hanna along with Dave Caulfield. Welcome to News 3 Noon on this Tuesday, and what a delightful Tuesday it is.
Oh, already temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s, plenty of sunshine. It's this type of weather that we really like to see in spring. We haven't seen that much of it so far, so we'll take it while we can get it. The clouds still off to the south and west, and they're going to miss us along with the batch of rain that's affecting portions of Iowa, so we'll just keep soaking in the sunshine. Some fair weather cumulus clouds forming over the last few hours in Madison, but still plenty of blue sky to go around on the WISC-TV Skycam. Currently at 68 degrees with a calm wind outside. We aren't seeing any 70s just yet, but we are close in a lot of spots like in Madison, Boscobel, Mineral Point, and Lone Rock. Wind speeds not too bad today out of the south and west at about 6 to 12 miles per hour for the most part. And temperatures and winds over the next 12 hours, I think those temps quickly getting into the 70s later this afternoon. Got to make sure I got the right time there. And then we'll be falling to the 60s and 50s as we head into later tonight. Slight chance of showers, but we should be dry for the most part. I can't say the same, though, for this weekend. We'll talk about rain chances returning in your first alert forecast.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Dave. Topping the news today, 2 people were found dead inside a Walworth County home last night. The Delavan Police Department said officers responded just after 6 to a report of a shooting in the 400 block of Buckingham Court in Darien. Police say a male with a gunshot wound to his shoulder was found at the home. He was taken to the hospital and is stable. Delavan police said that after hours of attempting to negotiate, SWAT team members breached the home's door and found the bodies of a male and female inside. The names of the deceased are not being released at this time. There is no further danger to the community. Madison Crime Stoppers asking for your help in finding a woman that's been missing since May 4th. Officials say Anastasia Evans was last seen at the apartments on Calypso Road in Madison. She is 23 years old, 5'6", has about 10 tattoos. If you know where Evans is, you're asked to call the Dane County Sheriff's Office. 6 people are displaced following an early morning fire on Madison's east side. Firefighters called to a 4-unit apartment building in the 2900 block of Horde Street around 4:15. When they arrived, they found black smoke coming from the back side of the building. Firefighters say crews were able to get the fire out within 8 minutes of arriving on scene. 4 adults and 2 young children were able to get out safely after hearing smoke alarms. The American Red Cross is helping them. There is no word yet on a cause of that fire. A Mexican restaurant in Madison expected to open today. This after the environmental health director for Public Health Madison and Dane County says about 25 people became sick after eating at La Hacienda. The restaurant's been closed since Thursday night. Health officials confirm norovirus was the cause of the food illness outbreak. The man accused of throwing a 5-year-old boy from a 3rd-floor balcony at the Mall of America has pleaded guilty to attempted premeditated first-degree murder and faces 19 years in prison. Emmanuel Aranda of Minneapolis admitted his guilt as part of a plea agreement today. Authorities said earlier that Aranda told them that he went to the mall on April 12th, quote, looking for someone to kill, and chose the boy at random. The child suffered head trauma and multiple broken bones, but he did survive. The family of a Florida man who was drunk when he crashed his car announced today that they are suing Tiger Woods, his girlfriend, and his restaurant. The parents are saying that Tiger Woods and the restaurant staff should have prevented 24-year-old Nicholas Emmersberger from drinking too much and driving to his death. Emmersberger crashed his Corvette and died December 10th, 2018. The lawsuit alleges employees knew that Emmersberger had a drinking problem and attended Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. They also allegedly knew that Emmersberger had another alcohol-related crash in November and that the Woods restaurant and bar promoted drinking by employees.
Well, we're all very sad that Nick passed away. It was a terrible night, a terrible ending, and just we feel bad for him and his entire family. It's very sad.
go to question.
The wrongful death suit is asking for an unspecified amount of damages. President Trump and China are both digging in their heels on trade. Yesterday, Beijing announced tariffs on $60 billion of U.S. goods starting next month, following the administration's move to hike tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. President Trump is now preparing to potentially impose another round of tariffs on an additional $300 billion worth of Chinese goods. The ongoing tug of war is hurting American consumers, especially farmers.
We've supported him from the get-go on trying to bring China to the table and make them more accountable for their practices, but every day that this ticks on, farmers are the ones that are taking it on the jaw.
We are, again, in a very, very strong position. If they want to make a deal, it could absolutely happen.
A pro-trade group estimates the recent tariff increases could cost 59,000 farmers their jobs. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Cheesy, yup. Crispy, you bet. Easy to make, well, that's a given. Want to discover my new go-to snack? You can if you stick around. I'll admit it, I love cheese. So when Patty from the Test Kitchen weaved it into this recipe, you bet I was intrigued. Recently, she came up with these crispy cheddar bites that I am hooked on. If you got a minute, I'd love to show you how easy they are. We start by grabbing a mixing bowl and combining some softened butter, a good amount of flour, some crispy rice cereal, a bunch of shredded cheddar cheese, a little salt, and a pinch of ground red pepper. Now, with a wooden spoon, we mix it together until it forms a soft dough. It's the combo of the cheese and the butter that holds these together, and that'll make them so good. Now, we roll these into balls, so they're about the size of golf balls, and place them on a couple of baking sheets. Just make sure you leave enough room between them so when you flatten them, they don't run into each other. Now, all we do is pop these in the oven for 10 minutes or so, and they're done. Who would think something this simple could be so darn good? And when it comes to serving them, they're just as at home on a cheese board as they are floating on a bowl of tomato soup. To get the recipe for our crispy cheddar bites, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an unexpectedly cheddary way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a warm and sunny Tuesday across southern Wisconsin. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has your first alert forecast when we come back. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow's turning things around after yesterday's huge loss. The Dow Industrials up 296 points. The NASDAQ up 110. The S&P 500 up 33. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. Nice to see the Dow going up for a change.
And as the thermometer keeps climbing, so are my prices on commodities, Mark. We're talking all about the delays we've seen with spring planting, not just in Wisconsin, but across the major corn and soybean growing regions like Illinois, Iowa, Indiana. In fact, we're getting to that critical mode where traders are really paying attention to the numbers. Here in Wisconsin, as of Sunday, they tell me we've got 14% of our corn in the ground, 4% of our soybeans were planted. Now, both those numbers lag behind our 5-year average, but at least it's progress. 41% of our oats in the ground, 59% of our potatoes have already been put in the ground. Where they really find concerns are areas like Indiana and Illinois, where normally those farmers would have somewhere between 60 and 65% of their corn in the ground. They are not near the halfway mark to that. So that is where traders are focused in on what's going on with the actual growing situation. Doesn't look like we are going to get any more trade discussions with China going until well into June. So instead, traders are focused in on the real life situations that farmers are dealing with. So there are areas in Nebraska where I'm hearing from farm broadcasters and other commodity specialists that are just flat out not going to get planted this year. Then there's the big question on how long do we wait, because farmers will have to ultimately make a decision. Is that going to be corn, which would have to happen in the next couple of weeks, or are we going to switch it over to beans? That's got the market nervous, too. Barrel cheese in Chicago today down 3 3/4 cents at 160. 40-pound block cheese, that lost 3/4 cent to 166. The double-A butter, that was down a penny today, $2.35 a pound. So like I said, finally, it's kind of like when you're trying to train a puppy. You got to get their attention. Well, apparently the delay in planting, the numbers out yesterday, and the weather forecast for some areas, fortunately not us, calling for measurable rain, got the attention of the market. I'm just glad that Mr. New Yorker over there is still coming through with some warm, dry conditions, because they're going almost 24 hours a day, our Wisconsin farmers right now, trying to make up for lost time.
Let's just be careful out there.
Correct.
All right, thank you, Pam. Let's check in with Dave. We like the sunshine.
Yes, we do. And any extended time that we can give to the area ag folks and farmers, we can really hope for that. And we can expect that as we get into later this afternoon, with our area of low pressure missing us to the south and west, affecting folks in eastern Iowa and western Illinois. But for southern Wisconsin, we're looking at partly sunny skies with really nice conditions. Once again, yesterday, highs in the mid to upper 60s, and we're already at that point in temperature land right now at the noon hour. Edgewater Skycam in Madison. Looking at those partly sunny skies, those fair weather cumulus clouds forming over the last few hours. We started off with basically wall-to-wall sunshine. As I mentioned already, in the upper 60s in Madison, 64 in Waunakee, 68 in Mineral Point, and getting our kicks on Route 66 in Monroe. That's still about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. And I mentioned our high temperatures yesterday, actually a little bit cooler than the temperatures right now today, but still a beautiful day yesterday with those highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s, like in Mineral Point. And that was a change for us, even though we got the warmer temperatures overall. Since we started off in the mid 30s, we actually ended up below normal as far as the temperature departure yesterday. In fact, every day except for one so far this May, we've had a temperature departure below normal. The only exception was Cinco de Mayo, when we hit our only 70-degree temperature of the month so far. It's crazy to think that at this time last year, we had already hit 70 degrees or higher 8 times. One is the loneliest number so far this May, but I think we'll get to numero dos as we get into this afternoon. Already at 68 degrees, so only a couple more degrees to go to get to 70. I think we'll see highs in the low to mid 70s later this afternoon, and the 70s really persisting for many of the next 10 days. The exception comes as we get into the middle of next week. But even though we'll have at least the good chances for 70-degree weather, it's not necessarily going to stay sunny the whole time, especially as we get into the weekend. More on that in just a little bit. We'll talk about today, though, on Future Track. We notice the sun sticking around, maybe some fair weather cumulus clouds, making it partly sunny outside. Then as we get into tonight, there's an outside chance of a sprinkle or shower across southern Wisconsin. And into tomorrow, RPM is picking up on a few sprinkles and showers. I really don't think either of those is going to occur, but maybe overnight a sprinkle or shower, not out of the question. Again, not going to affect many of us. Temperatures once again in the 70s tomorrow. Then as we head into Thursday, our chances for rain really start to ramp up. We could see some stronger thunderstorms on Thursday, so we're watching that very closely, and some periods of heavy downpours as well. The 7 to 10 day forecast showing the rainier and stormier stretch of weather on the way for this weekend. For Friday, then on Saturday, we're a little bit warmer with a slight chance of showers and storms becoming a little bit more likely on Sunday as well. Temperatures staying in the 70s, as I mentioned, into next week. So it does look like we've turned a corner as far as the thermometer goes. Don't want to speak too soon because it could just be a couple of hours before those temperatures are stuck in the 50s, and I regret saying those words. But it doesn't look like we've turned a corner just yet on our showery stretch getting out of here.
We should catch up to that 70 total.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I'm just following your lead.
I'm learning.
There's more to come on News 3 now at noon. Up next, Dr. Jim Orvig from the Oregon Pet Clinic is here answering your pet questions. The number 270-9933. We'll get to your calls right after this. Dr. Jim Orvig from the Oregon Pet Clinic is here answering your pet questions. The number 270-9933. Welcome to you.
Oh, well.
Finally spring.
It's
sort of.
Yeah.
You got the beans
Tomorrow.
in yet?
No, nothing's moving yet.
People falling behind.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the pet questions. Joan from New Glarus is on the line. Go ahead, Joan.
Hi, thanks for taking my
You're
call.
welcome.
I adopted a cat from the Humane Society, and he wants to lay in his litter. And I don't know why, and I don't know how to get him to quit it.
That's a problem.
Yep, not a common problem, but I've seen it before, and I've not had anyone ask how not to do it. But
Maybe another litter box?
another litter box, or maybe a covered one that he doesn't want to lay.
Yeah,
in
they have
there
those
or
covered
not.
ones. Or one of those motorized ones.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
That'll stop them. So, yeah,
Or train him to use the toilet. I've known people that have done that too.
all right, let's go to Sandy now in Madison. Hi, Sandy.
Hi. What is your opinion on declawing kittens?
Well, cats generally would like to keep all of their equipment, I'm sure. But if it's a matter of having a happy home for the rest of its life or having his claws, I think I'd go for the happy home.
But then you really got to be careful they don't get outside.
Well, of course, yeah. And that's usually not a big problem in a house cat. They can go out in the yard as long as somebody's with them, too. I've known many.
Yeah, I used to do that with my cat.
Sure.
And it's tea and flick season now. You should, I mean, if your pets are going outside.
If you're stepping outside the door, yeah, you put something on.
Even the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be out in the woods or.
No, anywhere.
All right, we have a call on 3, but I don't know who it is. Here we go. It is Tom from Madison. Hi, Tom.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Doctor. Mark.
Hi.
How are you both?
We are great. What's your question?
My quick question is, I've had, I think, 3 rabbits in my life, and I agree with everything. They're excellent pets. All 3 of them had become ill, sick, and they all, when I picked them up, they all died in my arms. I had them, I know they, if I'm correct, they have a weak heart. Rabbits are supposedly have a weak, very weak heart. I don't know more than other animals. But anyway, my question is it a rabbit trait, or is it just so happens that I've had rabbits and I picked them up and they've died in my arms? Can they stop their hearts on their own?
No. I think I have not ever heard of that. I know that prey animals generally don't look sick until they're pretty close to dead.
Yeah.
And
that's a survival thing, probably.
Right. And the African animals, when we did zoo work, if they look sick, they were really sick, because if they look sick, something's going to eat them.
Right. Yeah.
So
survival. All right, Dennis from Verona. Hi, Dennis.
Hello.
Hi. What's your question?
I have a little cockapoo here. He's 14 years old, and he's got one ear that's infected. And I was wondering, I've had the groomer clean it and whatnot. We're using some Zymox Max, something like that, ear solution. Mm-hmm. But it still smells, his ears smell yet. Is there anything other than taking to the vet can be done?
if it's one ear and a dog of that age, I think a vet needs to look down in that ear, because they get growth down there and it'll smell and be bad, and it will not get better unless you take the thing out.
Yeah,
So,
my Lola has that problem. They put some drops in that last for like a month or something. Yeah, they work pretty well.
Yeah, but
go to the vet.
If there's a growth, it needs to be removed.
All right, we're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Jim will talk to you off the air. We'll see you next time.
Very good.
And Dave has one final check of your forecast.
Yeah, Mark, temperatures once again in the 60s today. I think highs will actually get into the 70s later this afternoon for only the second time this May so far. In Madison, we're looking at partly sunny skies, really nice conditions right now, already into the upper 60s, pretty much across the board. So this afternoon, partly sunny. I think that slight chance of a shower will happen very late tonight into the overnight hours, so we really don't need to worry about that as we head into the overnight hours, temperatures dipping into the 50s.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.